And thank you for having me. I just, there's cake left and I want to pass it around. It's a vegan banana cake with a chocolate frosting. I'm just going to pass it around. You can grab a piece if you like to. Yeah, so go ahead and change the slide. So I'm going to be talking about my organization, our organization, which is called Medfølelse, Food with Compassion. We're a non-profit organization based here in Aarhus that want to inspire you to go green. We love food and we love to share, so that's what we do. We go out into the streets and share food with people. And vegan food, that is. And what is vegan food? You all know what a vegetarian is. So a vegan is a vegetarian that doesn't consume any animal products or buy any animal products, and as far as possible we avoid animal products. So that's eggs and dairy and meat and leather and wool and everything that comes from an animal. Today I will be talking about the organization and what we do. I will be talking about our history and how we're organized and how we communicate. So first, I would like to just introduce myself, because I find that when you're listening to someone, you like to know who they are. So I'm going to spend a few minutes just telling you my own story about how I decided to go vegan. And yeah, so about 2 years ago, something weird happened to me, something crazy happened to me. I don't know how and what happened. If I had that recipe, that would be the only recipe I would ever have to write, because I really want to inspire other people to do what I did and go green. So I was unemployed 2 years ago. I was unemployed. I had a temp job at this kindergarten, and at the same time I was studying. I was going to study again at the university after a break. So one day something crazy happened to me, which was a very personal experience that was kind of rough in my life, and I'm not going to share it with you because it's very personal. It's one of my friend's story, actually, but it affected me very deeply and made me think about my whole life and situation and big questions in life. So this whole being unemployed and having time to myself, time to reflect, made me think about all kinds of questions in my life and self-development and all that. And at the same time, I was watching a lot of documentaries because it was relevant to my studies. I study English and film and media at the university. So I came across some lists of the best documentaries of all time. And one of these films was called Food Inc. So I watched Food Inc. And that's a film that has a lot of information about the food industry and how everything works in the food industry, how it's a big factory. And it's not just the old farm and how you imagine it to be and how it once was. Today it's just a giant factory producing food, or whatever you would like to call it. And that got my mind focused on the food I ate. Every single day I ate food and I didn't know where it came from. I didn't know anything about this food. So I decided that all these reflections that I was thinking about were gonna be focused on my food somehow. But then, long story short, I came across another documentary called Earthlings, and to anyone who's ever seen it, you will know that this is a very violent film. This is a very graphic story of how we treat animals all around the world in different aspects of our lives. And it's a very emotional thing to talk about for me right now, because I have made this choice, but still I'm aware that I once didn't know about this. I wasn't aware, but this film really opened my eyes to this world. And I know it sounds kind of crazy, blah, 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 but that's okay. I'm just going to tell my story anyways. So I watched Earthlings and I was deeply affected by it. And the second that film was done, I was a vegetarian. I was like, I'm not going to eat any more meat because that is just not for me. My whole perspective on life had changed. But then I didn't know where to go from there. I was like, this is a new lifestyle, what happens? I don't know, I never imagined being a vegetarian. I never imagined that this would happen to me, and my whole life changed and I didn't know what to do. So I started just investigating my new lifestyle. I started reading books and reading web pages and Danish meat web page and all tons of web pages with information that I thought I needed to educate myself about this food that I ate and this food that I didn't want to eat anymore. And in my research, I came across this blog, a Danish blog. It's called Månebarnet, and the girl behind it is called Luna. And she inspired me to get active in the environment in Aarhus, the vegetarian environment. So she was very engaged in spreading the word about vegetarianism and veganism. And I went to her and said, how can I help? My whole life changed and I don't know what to do with it. Can you please help me spread the word and educate me and help me get a community of people who know this or think the same way? And that's what we did. They were arranging International Vegetarian Day 2011, and I became a huge part of that very quickly. I just joined forces with Luna, and we got this whole thing up and going down at Stortorv here in Aarhus, where we just made some food and went out into the street and had some fun and shared our food with people and had some music and shared flyers and all that. So that was the very first step when I was introduced to the vegetarian environment here in Aarhus. And from then on, I read more about this whole becoming a vegetarian and educated myself and decided to go vegan very quickly. But I thought it was going to be very it wasn't going to be easy. It was going to be a difficult task for me because vegan, that's like crazy. They keep away from any animal products. I know I want to go there, but I can't do that just in no time. So I thought it was going to take at least a year for me. But in about a month, I just discovered that I was already 90% vegan. So I just decided to go the whole way. So and then Luna and I worked together. And the following year, we were a part of Aarhus Festuge, the party week here in Aarhus, where we did this whole thing again, but we just didn't want to have it be International Vegetarian Day. We wanted to celebrate International Vegan Day because we were vegans, all of us, and we wanted to share that with people. We didn't want to share vegetarianism because that's not what we believe in. We believe in veganism. So the following year, we had this International Vegan Day, and we called it Mad med Medfølelse, food with compassion. And I think you can change the slide. And that's where it all started. Then we decided we should have an organization. We should be a real organization with a name and a logo, and this was our first logo we had for a while, so it's our old logo. But yeah, you can change the slide. Then we decided that we should be official. So we got all the technical things together. We started investigating how we could be a real organization, and we called all people into a generalforsamling, whatever that is. We constituted ourselves as a union or an organization, and that's where it all started. And all these great people were part of it. It was not just Luna and I, of course. This is her, by the way. All these other people were there helping us, and they had been part of it from the very beginning, and we couldn't have done it without each and every one of these people. And then things moved forward, and we got a new logo. And we got ourselves situated and grounded and as organization, and we became bigger and bigger, and now we have real members, paying members, and real responsibility, because when you're a real organization that communicates to a public, you also have a responsibility to share the message you're sharing responsibly, right? And do everything that you do responsibly. And from the moment that we constituted ourselves as an organization, a real organization, we started getting all these offers to be part of things like this. And that's amazing. Once you go out into the street and talk to people about what you're doing and share your message and just go out there and be part of things, then all other things start to come. So we were part of a whole ton of different things. And then we got a Facebook page that got really big, where we share food. And yeah, you should have a look at some food. It's what we do. It's what we do mostly. We share inspiration. We had an idea, Luna and I, when we started this organization, that we didn't want to be like everyone else. We have a ton of organizations in Denmark that share the message of don't hurt animals and show all kinds of graphic pictures. Like I told you in Earthlings, the documentary, it's very graphic. We have a lot of organizations that are doing a great job helping this movement, getting people green and just sharing that information, but we didn't want to be the same as all these people. We thought it was a weird tactic because you don't want to scare people away. We want to get people inspired to do some of the things that we like to do and that we think are right. So how do we do that? Both Luna and I and some of the other people that started the organization are food bloggers. So we share food on our blogs, and that's what we wanted to do. We thought that's a great idea. Share food, inspire people, tell people how they can cook and what they can cook, and just share great pictures, because people think, oh, you can't eat that, that's not vegan. Oh, that's not vegan either. Why are you eating that? And look at it, right? It's all vegan. No eggs, no dairy, no meat. Yeah, so we wanted to tell that to people instead of saying, oh, you can't eat that because that's from an animal. Then say, you can eat this instead, and this is great. And just go out into the streets and share food with people so they can get inspired and tell our stories. That's what we do. Every time we're in the streets, we just share flyers and share food and tell our stories to people. But at the same time, we don't compromise. We don't lie to people and say, yeah, it's okay if you do this or that. We don't make compromises. We still tell people we're vegans and we think that's right. And you can do this, but we do it in a friendly way. And we share the message through inspiration. And that's our main focus. So now I'm just gonna go through some food pictures because that's what we do, right? That's what I say we do. And on our Facebook page, every day almost, we share pictures of delicious food and inspiration and tell people, oh, today we're eating this, what are you eating? Or did you know that the strawberries are in season and you can make all these great things from strawberries, right? So this is a breakfast setup from my blog. And here we have some cake. It's actually the other, if you go back, if that's possible. This cake is actually not only vegan, but it's also no sugar, no gluten. And people are like, what? There are no eggs in there? There's no gluten, there's no sugar, and it's still sweet and it's spongy and all these things. It just goes to show how far you can go. And it's not full of all kinds of what do you say, replacement products or whatever, substitutions. It's just plain old products. It's banana. Banana can do the same things as eggs. The cake you're just having now or that you had earlier doesn't contain eggs, and it still gets that sponginess. It gets that from banana, and there are all kinds of things out there that can do the same things. So it's just about knowing how to do it. Of course, it's a new thing. If you have to change your lifestyle, you have to take a period of time where you just get adjusted to that lifestyle, right? to learn how to do it. But let's look at some more food. These are some pancakes made from chickpea flour, and that's very good. Yeah. And this is from one of our other blogs. Sarah has a blog called Banana Food, actually Banana. And this is an Indian dish called dal from my blog, Kærlighed og Kikærter, loving chickpeas. Very hippie-like. And this is just some inspiration that we share on our Facebook page. We find that people like all these little quirky, funny things, and when it looks great or something, it's something that people want to interact with. And that's what we do a lot through our Facebook page. We like to interact with our public. We like to answer questions that come on our wall, of course, and just answer any questions people have and inspire them by sharing these kind of pictures. Yeah. Is that vegan? Yes, of course. And I get these questions all the time. Every time I share food or we go into the streets and just have this food there, people are like, oh, this is vegan? They're so surprised, and that's just goes to show that there's a reason we're here, right? Because people don't know that you can have all these great things and do it without animal products. And that's just what we do. Go out and tell that story. This is actually a picture of the banana cake you had. Where it's decorated for a birthday. Yeah. And we can have pizza. Yes, of course. This is a vegan salami or chorizo or whatever, pepperoni and some vegan cheese. And you can have all kinds of different vegan cheese. In Denmark, it's very limited how much you can have. But in the States and in Germany, they have tons of things, and of course you can get all this online. But there are definitely possibilities in Aarhus as well. And actually, the pizzeria, Venus Pizzeria, here in Aarhus, has 6 varieties of vegan pizza with vegan salami, vegan meat, vegan ham, whatever, and cheese and different. Yeah. So that's very great. That's something that there are some people here in Aarhus who are really engaged in getting some vegan food on the streets, and they did this, and we're very thankful for them. Also, you can get vegan hot dogs at Trøjborg now. Yeah. So you can skip. Yeah. And the next one is one of my favorite pictures. It's from the blog Grøn, Sund og Lækker, which is also one of our founders' blog, Henriette. She made this, and it's so pretty. Fruit is pretty. Are you drooling yet? Yeah. So as we grew bigger as an organization, we got all these offers to be a part of things. So we decided that we wanted to take a month where we just did something for ourselves. We started something ourselves. And we called this March with Compassion, March med Medfølelse. So this was a whole month where we shared food with people through our Facebook page. We shared food pictures and inspiration every single day for every single meal. What can you eat? And just to get people inspired. And we challenged people, or we tried to inspire people to challenge themselves to eat vegan for a month, just to take in that experience and see how it was for them and feel the effect on their own bodies, because vegan food can have health benefits as well. So actually the idea came from one of my friends who said, I think I want to eat vegan for a month. And I was like, yeah, great, do it, try it, why not? And then the idea kind of grew from there. Let's try and get other people to do this. And my mom has done it as well. My mom is 60 years old, and she ate vegan for a month with no problem, and she loved it. I'm very grateful to have a mom who's that willing to try new things and all that. So we did this whole month, and everything for us just exploded. It just goes to show that if you take initiative and do something that inspires people, people are gonna come and watch. So we did this for a month and just invited people on Facebook, and went out into the streets again and just shared flyers and said, hey, we want to invite you to go vegan for a month. Try it out. See this cake? It's vegan. So a lot of people found out about our organization during that month and spread the word, because all the vegans wanted to invite their friends to try this out. And all the friends were like, yeah, that's a great Facebook page and it's really inspiring, and there are no suffering, there are no images that I don't want to see, there is just plain delicious food. So people shared that, and it became this kind of big thing that really got us out there, got the word out there. So a lot of people knew about us. And from then on, we were a part of Aarhus Sustainability Festival as well at GoSpain, where we were down there again sharing food. Yeah, as we do. And also we were a part of Øko-weekend i Vestergade. Our name is down there. And it's just, as this new organization, this small organization, you're just very happy every time someone invites you to be part of their festivities or whatever, their own projects. And I was very thrilled to see our name on a poster. I was like, yay! But you can imagine that if you're starting an organization yourself and you're thinking no one's listening, but then all of a sudden all these things come in and people are actually listening. And there are so many great things going on in this city, just like creative mornings and all these things, where people share their creativity and share their opinions and their inspiration with each other. And that's wonderful. So the latest thing that happened was that Luna and Henrietta and myself went to TV2 Fri. I was invited to take part of this new television show where it's a food competition, the Danmarks bedste livret it's going to be called. So we went there and represented our organization with these fancy aprons, right? And just made some delicious burgers and cupcakes with Oreos, and and that was great. Yeah, so that was the latest thing that happened, and again, this comes from just things affecting each other and people being engaged, yeah, in the organization. And so how do we, I don't have any more slides, but I wanted to talk a bit about how we communicate with sponsors as well, because I think that some of you in here are also part of organizations. And I think it's very important, we found that it's very important when you communicate with sponsors. We have all these great sponsors who want to be part of our, sharing the same message as we do. They have kind of the same goals. They like organic, they like plant-based, they like local and all that. So we talked to all these organizations that are here in Aarhus and all these sponsors, all these shops, and they're very willing to share because we give something back. We share advertisement for them as well, obviously. But we found that it's very important to communicate back to the sponsors how we've used their donations. So if you've gotten a donation from a sponsor, it's important afterwards, after you've had this event, to go back to the sponsor and say, we used it for this and you're getting this out of it. A lot of people saw your product and they liked it. And just to communicate back that you appreciated the donation, so next time they will want to donate again. And yeah, so we learned that from just getting sponsorships and gifts and all that. But most of our sponsors are very pleased to share what they have because they have some of the same goals that we do. So yeah. Are you stopping me? Are we out of time? All right.